This is page 16, Guided Practice. Number 1A reads, graph the temperature for each city on the number line. So we have 5 letters here that represent cities, and they ask us to put them on the number line. A is at -9, so I put an A here, and I put a dot on -9, and I put an A. B is at 10, so I put a dot and put B. C is at -2. D is at 0. And E is at +4. Second question, which city was the coldest? Well, if you think about it, the positive numbers are over here and the negative numbers are over here, and negative temperatures are colder than positive temperatures. So the most negative city would be -9. That's going to be city A. And then, so if farthest to the left is our coldest, then farthest to the right would be our warmest. So the answer to the question C is B is the warmest city. Okay, moving on. Number 2 reads, list the numbers in order from least to greatest. So my least number would be the one farthest to the left on a number line. And so that would be the negatives, and the negatives are -6, -9, and -3. The one farthest to the left would be -9. And then would be -6. And as I'm moving to the right, then would be -3. Now I'm going to get to 0, and then I'm going to get to my positives. So there's 0. And then my positives are just in order, least to greatest. I've got 1, then 4, then 8. Let's make sure I got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got them all? All right, number 3. Let's go identify our negatives. We've got -65, -13, and -7. The one farthest to the left would be -65. Then would be -13, then -7. And I don't have 0 in this one. Now I've got some positives, and I'm just going to go in order. The least positive will be 7. Then I'm going to cross it off. Then I've got 34, 55, and 62. And I actually just read them in order. 35, then 34, then 55, then 62. Cool, got them all. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got them all. Moving on. Number 4 reads, write 2 inequalities to compare -17 and -22. Well, -17 can go on the left and -22 can go on the right. And that term inequality right here means that we're going to use a symbol, the less than symbol or the greater than symbol, to make the statement true. So which is the greater value there? Well, if you think about it this way, on a number line, if I put 0 here, if I just start moving to the left, I go to my negatives. Well, which one am I going to come to first? I'm going to come to -17, and then if I keep going, I'm going to come to -22. Now, -17 doesn't seem like a big number, but if you think about the way a number line works, the numbers on the right are positive, and the numbers on the left are negative. So as you move to the right, you get bigger. If I were going this way, as I move to the right, I get bigger. Well, which is to the right? -17. -17 is to the right of -22. That makes it the greater value. So the first statement I'm going to write is -17 is greater than -22. And the second statement I'm going to write is I'm going to just reverse the two numbers. And I'm going to say -22 is less than -17. Now really those are the same thing. The only reason I did it twice is because it told me to. It said write 2 inequalities. Alright, let's move on. Numbers 5 through 12, I simply have to put in the correct inequality symbol. And number 5, I'm going to put in the less than sign because -9 is less than 2. And number 6, I'm going to put in the less than sign because 0 is less than 6. And on number 7, 3 is going to be greater than any negative number, so 3 is greater than -7. Number 8, 5 is greater than -10. And number 9, -1 is greater than -3. And if you're confused about that one, it's the same thing as we were just talking about. If 0 is right here, then -1, then -3. Well, it would be -2, then -3. -1 is to the right of -3, therefore it's the bigger value. I know that seems a little backwards because they're negative. It kind of does seem backwards. -4 is the bigger value here, so I'm going to say that -8 is less than -4. And on 11, -4 is less than 1. And on number 12, -2 is the greater value, so it's greater than -6. All right, we are on 13. Compare the temperatures for the following cities, write less than or greater than. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find these cities in the table, Alexandria and Winona. I'm going to replace Alexandria with -3. And I'm going to replace Winona with a 2. And I'm going to put in the symbol that makes that true. And -3 is less than 2. So I'm going to put in that symbol right there, and that's all I have to do. And then on the next one, Redwood Falls. Redwood Falls and International Falls. Redwood Falls is 0, and International Falls is -4, and 0 is greater than -4. All right, last one. How can you use a number line to compare and order numbers? So I'm going to start with just a little sketch, and then I'll help you write an answer. So let's pretend I asked you to put some numbers on a number line, like 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. Let's pretend the question said to compare and order -3 and 2 and 1 and -1. So I got to put those on a number line. -3 goes over here, and 2 goes here, and 1 goes here, and -1 goes here. So what's the least of those numbers? The least of those numbers would be -3, and the next one would be -1, and then it would be +1, and then it'd be +2. Now, what's the point? Well, a number line actually is in order from left to right. And that's the concept here we're trying to get you to notice. How can you use a number line to compare and order numbers? What you can do here, I'm going to type. What you can do here is, after you place the numbers on the number line, they are in order from least to greatest. Least would be on the left. I'm going to put least to greatest. How do I want to say this? They are in order from least to greatest by reading from left to right. Let me reread that and make sure it makes sense. After you place the numbers on a number line, they are in order from least to greatest by reading from left to right. That's a really good answer. Cool. Well, I'm happy to help you on those written ones. It's not always easy to come up with a well-written, coherent answer. Congratulations, you are now done with page 16. You may move on. Good job.